Here is an equation that we need to look at. What is the value of t that satisfies this equation? So we are looking at a chance to practice with the distributive property. I think this is so much fun. You're going to share your 3 with everybody inside. So you'll have your 3t plus 12. You're going to share your -2 with everybody inside. Don't forget to grab the sign. So you'll have minus 4t minus 6 equals -4. Now you'll look at your like terms. So 3t minus 4t would give you -1t, and your 12 minus 6 would give you 6. So now you would subtract 6 from both sides. You just have a 2-step equation. You have -1t equals -10. You'll divide both sides by the number in front of your variable. So divided by -1. And you'll have t equals 10. So here we go. Our next one, this is scatter plots. So a researcher studying eyesight, as you would expect, eyesight is dropping over time. And the researcher used this model, this line, to model the formula. That would be the line of best fit approximately. So when she substitutes 65 into the equation, what would the result tell her? So 65 would be right here. That is going to tell her either the exact value or the predicted value. And since it is the equation she wrote, it is going to be telling her the predicted value. Remember, the exact values could be all over the place. We don't exactly know what a 65-year-old's eyesight will be, but we do know what we could predict it to be based on the equation. Okay, we've done some work with our tables. So we have a frequency table. The club president of this club does a field trip survey, and the results are already displayed for us. Which ones are true? So we want to decide which one is true. That means we actually have to check everything. So 20% of 8th graders preferred the seacoast. Well, we need to find out, okay, how many kids preferred the seacoast in 8th grade? And I can see that 30 out of 72. So it would be 30 out of 72, and we're going to check and see if that's 20%. So 30 divided by 72 gives me 0.416. So when I move that decimal point 2 places over, it's about 42%. I would say that is not true. 32% of 7th graders preferred the mountains. So I'll switch to blue. So 7th graders, there's 28 that preferred the mountains out of 78. So we would say 28 out of 78. Do the same thing with our calculator. Divide the top number by the bottom number. And we will have 30.358. So that's almost 36%. So I say that's also not true. Now the next one, we'll move to green. 40% of the students preferred the mountains. Well, how many students did they survey total? 40% of the students preferred the mountains. So we need to find our total surveyed. So our total surveyed was 150. And how many of those students preferred the mountains? I would say our total was between 7th and 8th grade. That would be 78. So you have 78 over 150. So you do your 78 divided by 150, and that gives me 0.52. So that's 52%. Now at this part, I'm starting to get nervous that perhaps I've made an error. So let me actually calculate the last one. 48% of students preferred the seacoast. Well, that's kind of nice because we know that 52% preferred the mountains. So we can say, well, it has to add up to 100%. So you could just do 100 minus 52 and you'd get your 48%. You could also go and do the checking where you say, well, 48% preferred the seacoast, so let's go and look at seacoast. 72 out of 150. So 72 divided by 150 gives us 48%. So it is choice D. Okay, next. Triangle M is similar to triangle N. This is geometry, that word similar. We've seen this kind of recently. So here is our M. If something is similar, so this is triangle M, I'll just put it in the middle. And then this would be triangle N. If they are similar, they do not have to be the same size, but what this means is they do have the same angles. So if M has 32 degrees and 93 degrees, that means that N is also going to have 32 and 93. The question is, what is that last angle going to be, so we can start to answer the question. Remember that triangles add up to 180 degrees. So you know that you have to say 32 plus 93, and that gives you 125, and you subtract that from the total of 180, and that's going to tell you what that third angle is. So it's 55. So this third angle has to be 55. So now that I know the three angles of triangle N, because even though one's little and one's big, their angles stay the same. I'm just looking to see which one includes two of the three that I need. So choice C has both a 93 and a 55, which are both in letter N. Double check and make sure nothing else also works, and I would say it does not. Okay, so our next, which exponential function is equal to 2 to the negative 5 times 2 to the 8. It's probably a good idea to figure out what this is first. So 2 to the negative 5 times 2 to the 8, remember our exponent rules say we add if we have the same power, or if we have the same base. So we would say 2 to the third is our answer. So I'm now going to check and see which of these other ones works out as 2 to the third. This is a tricky problem. Let's start with D. So the rule here with the power rule means we multiply, so you would have 2 to the negative third. That is not the same as 2 to the third. That is the same as 1 over 2 to the third. So that would cancel. No, not going to be used. The first one, we use our division rule, but let's go jump down to B. I think I see an exact situation just like D. You multiply, it's our power rule. You'll get 2 to the negative third. Well, that's obviously not 2 to the third. Let's go to A, and our division rule tells us that we subtract these. Be careful with this one. So you're going to say they have the same base, and you subtract their exponents. So you do 2 minus negative 1. 2 minus negative 1 is really 2 to the third. So it is choice A. Okay, and that wraps up our assorted topics.